back to Know What's Cooking, where we're changing the world one recipe at a time with a splash of physics. Today, we're coming up with another recipe where we can use our pre-cooked lentils and we're just gonna make tacos. You could just use taco seasoning, but I'm just gonna mix up a quick taco seasoning from scratch. I just use a teaspoon of onion powder and a teaspoon of chili powder. Then I use a half of a teaspoon of salt and a half of a teaspoon of cornstarch. Also, a half a teaspoon of dehydrated granular garlic. And a half of a teaspoon of cumin. And last, we're gonna use a quarter of a teaspoon of oregano. I like to make a bunch of these little taco seasonings ahead of time and put them in these little Ziploc bags that I use over and over again, so they're just as easy as the grocery store option and much less expensive. I've already preheated a cast iron skillet, and cast iron is one of the most sustainable choices. We'll get into the science of cast iron later. For one, cast iron just lasts forever, like generations, so that alone makes it a really sustainable choice. I'm also gonna put a little bit of canola oil, and then I'm gonna dump my jar of lentils that are pre-cooked. One of the keys here is that we wanna make sure we do this really quickly. Remember, we slightly undercook the lentils so that they have a little bit of a chew, and we don't wanna turn them to mush while we're turning them into tacos. We're just gonna brown them for just a minute or so. Then I'm gonna add the taco seasoning mix that I mixed, or any taco seasoning mix. I'm just gonna add a quarter of a cup of water. And just keep stirring it. It smells so delicious. All right, I think we're all done. The beans retained their little brown gemness, and they're gonna be a perfect ground beef replacement. All right, time to assemble our taco. I'm gonna use a soft shell. I'm choosing a whole wheat tortilla, and I'm gonna stick it under the broiler for a couple minutes while I'm chopping up the vegetables. A little bit of red onion, which is actually purple. I'm also gonna add a bit of a sliced tomato and some red pepper, which is actually red, one of my favorite ingredients. Let's throw in a bit of an avocado. And lastly, I'm gonna chop up some spinach. Perfect, gonna be a little rough to get this inside one taco, but I'm gonna try. Pile on top. I'm gonna finish it off with a little bit of green salsa. Delicious, let's give it a try. Lentil taco is fast food redefined. It's also kind to the environment, inexpensive, and super nutritious, so give it a try. See you soon.